let me adjust that a little. How's everybody look? You guys look better than I do. All right. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday night to you. I got a couple of first-class guys here sitting next to me tonight. I'm going to introduce them here in just a moment. So please, if you can, let me know in the comments. I got the little computer running right down here. Let me know if you can see me, hear me okay. How do these guys look to you? I'm worried about this guy to my right. All right, Ever Vanderhyde saying, can you hear me loudly and clearly? So we got Lima Charlie coming in loud and clear. Greg Schmidt, Jeff Abbott, Mark Pearson, all good. You know, you're gonna see just a ton of names jump on here.
Yeah, you got some good eyesight to see that from this far away.
I know, at my age, it's going quick too. It's, you never know. One week I'm just gonna be doing this, and I'll just be holding this thing up like this.
Yeah, no one can see
it'll be the end of the video. It'll probably be a better video actually, if nobody can see me. But yeah, we got Blind Osprey. That's Tim. He first mates for me from time to time. Mike, you first mate for me too from time to time.
Happy to do it too.
Yeah, you do a good job. Chad Douglas, Greg Moose, Johnny Cuz. Johnny, how you doing? Good to see you. Jeff Russell, Brian Bars, Jim Dombrowski. Man, everybody is here tonight. Terry Hems, Todd Bone. Thank you everybody for being here. Happy Sunday to you. How do you guys feel about Matt Stafford? Are we happy for him?
Oh yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
You know, he took a whooping in Detroit, got beat up, and you know, I don't say he had a lot of talent. He looks like he did, didn't he?
He proved it, I think.
He definitely proved himself on the field that game.
You know what? I hear some people just trashing him because he left Detroit and he went down there and he won. I'm happy as heck for the guy. I'm really happy for him. Any Lion is still a Lion in my book, and now he's a winning Lion, which is very rare. A Super Bowl winning Lion, which is very rare.
You almost feel part of that win as a Lion fan.
Yeah, you do. It's a little exponential thing there, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little out-of-body experience. Yeah, I was really happy for the guy.
Yeah, I like that no-look pass that he did. That was pretty sweet.
Oh, he did it. That whole fourth quarter, just tearing it up with Cooper Kupp.
Oh, man.
Making passes, I couldn't believe that he was fitting in some of those windows. That was impressive.
Yep.
Anyway, congratulations to Matt Stafford. Matt, if you're watching, good job. We're proud of you. And if you know Matt, send this to him. Tell him how proud of him we are. Who else we got? Matt Presidents. Good to see you, man. Good supporter of the channel right there. Craig Enderby, Pat Enos, everybody. Scott Argensinger from Dreamweaver is here. You guys know Scott.
Oh yeah.
Good guy.
Great guy.
Matt Presidents just sent a $5 super chat. Guys, I'm sorry to do this to you, but this is a tradition on the channel. When people support the channel through a super chat, they get this loud guy. Turn that away. That's why I put you on that side. When people support the channel through a super chat, you get this loud, obnoxious, real cranking noise. So, Matt Presidents, this is for you. Let's see if that's what they get. And it's ridiculous, and I love every second of it. So, I'm going to set this over to the side in case anybody else does that.
It's a good sound right there.
Mike, I'm going to put you in charge of the super chat reel. If anybody else super chats, Mike, you go ahead and crank that thing, okay?
I'll have to watch for it then.
All right, I'll let you know. Who else we got? Mike F is here. Jason C. Pat Enos giving some thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up, Pat. That does help the channel. If you're new here, my name's Chris. I run this, I run Dark Blue Charters here in Manistee, Michigan. Myself and my good friend Jim run this channel, Tangle Tackle Fishing. Tonight, I am blessed to be with a couple of guys from the Manistee County Sport Fishing Association. And I'd like to take a second here to let these guys introduce themselves. I'll start with the guy to my left.
Hey, my name's Kevin Hughes, and I run Sandpiper Charters out of Onekama. And I've been involved with the Manistee County Sport Fishing for over 30 years. And we have a real nice organization. Have around 200 members annually, business, amateurs, and professionals. And we do a lot of events, and our mission is to take care of the fishery and the tourism in Manistee County.
You are the keepers of the fishery here in this county. And this guy to my right, on your left, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Michael Linke. I'm a board member and regular annual member of the Mcsfa. I sit as the secretary treasurer.
Yes, sir.
Been happy to do that. This is my 4th year now with the association on the board, and it's a heck of a lot of fun, man. Get to meet some pretty cool people, get to accomplish some pretty cool things throughout the year. We got a bunch of new things going on, and happy to be a part of it.
We're going to talk about those things too.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Kevin, what's your role in the MCSFA?
Well, I'm right now president. The board voted me the president of the association. And I don't know, you can't find anybody else, but I've been the president for over 25 years.
Let's say you've been there a while.
He's been a good president too.
He has been.
Oh, thank you.
No, you've done a good job for all the years I've been around here. You know, watching what goes on with you guys and your organization, you guys all do a really good job. But Kevin, like you said, you run Sandpiper Charters out of Onekama. You got a website people could look at if they wanted to?
Yeah, just look up Nakama and Sandpiper 3 sport fishing charters, and you can link right on there. And I got a website. I'm not as good as you, Chris. I'm not a techno guy, and so I don't do the fishing reports and the up to date and all that stuff. But you know what? I'm a little more old school, but we still we go out and do it every day. You
guys catch a ton of fish too, so it doesn't matter techno or not. You guys put a ton of fish in the boat. I see you guys out there all the time. And somebody's always fighting a fish on the back of your boat, so that's good to see. And what is the website for the Sport Fishing Association?
I got it right here. It's,
that's right.
It's MCSFA 98@gmail.com.
That's the email.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there an actual
Yeah, I
website?
think the website, go to www.mcsfa.org.
I'm almost certain that's it also.
I'm pretty sure.
What I'll do is I'll look it up and be absolutely certain on that, everybody, and I'll put a link down below after this video posts to YouTube, so if you want to look at it, you're free to do so. And
Yep.
you guys do so much for the fishery around here. Like you said, you guys are pretty much the keeper of the keys around here when it comes to the fishery and what you guys can do to support that. Can we talk a little bit about, let's just start at the ground level. What does the MCSFA do for Manistee County?
Well, our mission, we try to fulfill our mission. And our mission is, and it's right here on our website, but our mission is, our purpose is to promote the sport fishery and tourism, because they go hand in hand in Manistee County.
That's true.
And so I will tell you that for a long time, our biggest emphasis was on the big lake and a little bit on the rivers. But our fastest growing segment of our association in the last few years has been our fun fish and our guys like to fish our inland lakes in the county.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
so we'll go through and talk about that, but we have a regular subgroup of the association now that is the fastest growing group of our association.
I see you guys out there all the time on Portage Lake and other lakes around here.
Yep.
The small boats going out bass fishing, pan fishing, walleye fishing too. You guys doing anything with the walleye?
There's walleye divisions in the Wednesday night fun fish,
Nice.
and those divisions change, and you can go more into the specifics of the fun fish.
Sure, absolutely.
But we're trying to just branch out because Manistee County has a lot to offer other than, yes, the big lake is a great fishery, and we've been doing it. Well, they've been doing it longer than I've been alive, probably. But there's inland lakes right here: Manistee Lake, Bear Lake, Portage Lake,
Good lakes.
Tippy Dam backwaters.
Really
We're starting
good-
to
really good
move into,
waterways.
and even fish being a part of the fishing association. You talk to even like river guys that we have a connection with them to hear what they're doing, to see if we can bounce back ideas.
Oh,
back and
absolutely.
forth.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Really helps
also
out.
ground level, you touched on this a little bit earlier there, Kevin. You got about how many members?
We have around 200 members, and our membership is made of private fishermen, businesses, and charter fishermen.
And charters,
So
yep.
it's not just one subgroup; it's all those groups combined.
So let me ask you this. Do you have to be a member or live in Manistee County? That's the easier way to say it. Do you have to live in Manistee County to be a member?
No, absolutely not. Matter of fact, probably a majority of our members don't live in Manistee
Right.
County,
Yep.
and they just fish here or season or vacation here, but most of our functions have to be. There's a membership component to our functions. At least like on the tournament, someone on the boat has got to be a member of the association.
Right. Yep.
Fun fish, we have another, and Michael will talk about that a little later. But we have it, and sometimes we have different rates of membership. Charters guy is going to pay more than a private guy. Fun fish guy pays less than the big lake guy.
Yeah.
So, but what the benefits they get are different depending on what level of membership.
There you go. So as long as we're talking about money, and I got the money guy right here to my right, what are the membership fees, Mike?
So we'll start more so at the lower end. If you're looking at doing the Wednesday night fun fish, which goes from June 1st all the way to the last Wednesday in August, every Wednesday. You're looking at $35 for membership for that. And
Okay.
what that will get you is pretty much an entry to be able to fish our Wednesday night fun fish.
So let's just stop right there. So we're absolutely on the same page. What is the Wednesday night fun fish? Is this a tournament? Is this just a get together? What do we got going on?
Pretty much all of the above.
Okay.
It's a year-long, low-stakes, go fishing after work with your buddies kind of thing. A couple of guys that live and breathe for the fishing do it all the time, more than most of us working
I know what you're
guys
talking
do,
about too, right?
But we, like what I do is go after work and crack a couple cold ones with some friends and have a good time, catch some fish, and have a little bit of a fun wager at the end of the night.
Okay.
You know, it's if you're a Fun Fish member, it's a $5 entry fee, so there is always an entry fee. But if you're not a member, you can still fish it. It's just a little more money, $10 to get into it.
There you go.
But with that, we do always promote signing up to be a member, since if you can be fishing a bunch of them, might as well be a member. You start spending more money than what you need to if you don't do that.
Right, that's
But-
fishing for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all that information I'm sure is on the website.
It is, yeah. If you go to the website and follow the Facebook page as well, the Manistee County Sport Fishing Association on Facebook, we do share all of that stuff as well. But it's a lot of fun. It's low stakes, low entry fee, but you can definitely win some money.
All right, so we got the fun fish on Wednesday nights.
Yep.
What's the next level up from there?
So up from that, you're looking at a $50 membership. That's your general membership for the regular MCSFA, the regular one we've had forever, basically.
And that's an annual membership, correct?
Non-charter.
Non-charter.
membership, what it's
And that's
called.
annual, correct?
Annual. Yep.
Annual, okay.
Yep, so if you're interested in fishing our tournaments, that would be one thing to do to get into it, is to get the membership, which you can buy online or at the tournament, either the Friday or Saturday, or well, really just the Friday, you can't do it on Saturday. Yeah, you can get that for $50, and that'll get you in both actually the fun fish as well,
Right.
and then our big lake.
Well, that's one of the things. The higher you go up in the entries, you get the lower
Yep.
entries as well.
It kind of just rolls in together there.
Exactly. And one thing that Kevin had mentioned is there are some events that you have to be a member for. You have to be a member to be able to enter these events. I know the Fun Fish is one. There's also a tournament that you guys do. We'll talk about that in a little while.
Yeah.
But you have to be a member to be in some of these events.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
Actually, all our events, except for the kid fish, you have to be a member.
Yep, except for the kid fish.
Exactly. And one of the things that help with the, and there's different levels of membership, but the $50 and the $100 membership for the, if you're a big lake fisherman, we have the Derby also.
Mhm, we're
And so
gonna
the-
talk about
and
that.
that starts Memorial Day and Labor Day, so.
You can make your money back pretty easy and then some. I've seen some people walk away with
There's lots of ways to
lots
come back with
lots
something.
of dollar bills in their pockets from the Derby. But okay, $50 is for the non-charter boats.
Correct.
Next level up.
Next level, you're looking at $100 charter membership or business membership.
Yep.
So if you're a charter captain like these two guys are right here, you can sign up your charter boat under your name. Or if you're a business like myself, Link's Body Shop, that's my family business, we opt to be a
Supporter?
Supporter.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, definitely annual supporter and part of that business membership.
Absolutely.
Which you can do if you have a business, own a business, help run a business, and you want to help support the association. That's a great way to do it. Just a $100 business membership, it goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Nick will go forth with saying what we can do with that and how we essentially help back the fishery, and it goes a long ways.
Yeah, it sure does.
With that.
Yeah, BMK, one of my longtime followers on here, says these things are a great thing to be part of, especially if you love fishing in the Great Lakes. And
Yeah.
that's really couldn't be any more true. Great comment there, BMK. I appreciate that. But let's tip that over to the Derby, Kevin. Let's talk about now you're a member.
Yep.
You paid your $50 non-charter fee, or your fun fish, or your charter, or your business fee, and you go out and you catch a monster fish on the boat.
Yep.
Well, how can that pay off for you?
Well, we have different levels of payoff. We do, and I'm not particular. We've changed it a little bit off and on, but I think it's 3 1-month segments from as I recall.
I think
and,
it is.
And then we have different divisions. I see Bud's board right
Yep.
over there. Salmon we pay 1, 2, 3. Lake trout 1, 2, 3. Steelhead 1, 2, 3 for the month, and then brown trout, and then we also have some kickers for the biggest at the end of the season.
That's right.
Overall, and so
That's
I have to get on the website because it's different amounts, and so if the fish wins biggest, you get so much, second, third biggest, and then if it carries over for the biggest for the season, then you get an extra kicker. So, but we know that we have members that win multiple big fish categories. You can only have one, there's a rule that you can only have, you can't win like second and third place in the month.
Sure.
But overall, and then what we do is we take that money, and then coming up in May 14th is our annual banquet. That night is when we call in the people from the fun fish, people who won money, and also the people who won money in the big fish contest for our derby. That's when we pay them out.
That's right.
And so when they show up that night, we give them, this year if it's under under a certain amount, we're giving them cash. And so they're gonna have some cash money to spend at our banquet that night. Yeah, and then if you win the big checks, you know,
You get the big check.
we gotta take care of Sam a little bit. So, you know, it's gotta be a withholding if it's
Sure.
a big check. So, but, we do that, and that's sort of how and so every time you go fishing, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, you always got a chance to win something. And the beauty of it, Chris, is we have our local weigh stations.
Yes.
We have 2 or 3 in Manistee, Insula Launch, and Tango Tackle, and Ship Launch, and the guy's got one at Riverside. We have Onekama, Marine has one in Onekama, Arcadia Marine has one in Arcadia. And so we have these weigh stations where they'll come in there and you weigh your fish and get it certified and put it on a thing, and then we have a board, and we have a member, one of our, Jan, does a great job, and he updates the board.
Yep.
So you can always see, hey, what's leading, and then, you know, should I weigh this fish? And so it's sort of, it makes it fun every time you go fishing, you got a chance.
It's very, very true. So just to synopsize that for everybody, if you become a member here, charter, non-charter, and you go out there on a boat and you catch a big fish, you have a chance to win a ton of money.
Yes, you do.
First, second, and third place, king salmon, steelhead, lake trout, and brown trout, if I remember right, are the 4 categories. First, second, and third place in all 3, if I recall correctly.
Yep. And there's some little technical, I don't want to mislead anybody, but you know what? It's a boat membership. So the guy who's on that boat, you better make sure that he's registered, because we get these sad stories every year.
Sure.
Guy caught a 35-pound king, and boy, that's a beauty, and blah, blah, blah. Well, why didn't you pay the $50 at the end of the day? Well,
Right.
forgot, or, you know, can't find my checkbook, and it's just,
Right.
you know, one more of those, I could have won the derby.
Right.
You know, sad stories.
Sure, could have won I've heard a couple of those that could have won the overall too,
Yeah.
and won the
Yeah.
big check.
Yeah.
So let's ask a couple questions on that, if you guys don't mind. Say I'm up on my charter boat, and I have a client on there who catches a 35-pound king, which would be wonderful. Can I, being a charter member, through the association, weigh that fish, even though I didn't catch it?
Absolutely,
Yep.
because that's why we charge the charter boats more,
Mm-hmm.
$100, and we know when a charter boat is out there every day, they're gonna have different clients sorting through all
Mm-hmm.
day long. So that is totally legal.
Okay.
And the same with the amateur boat.
I was gonna ask that.
If I'm in an amateur boat and I own that boat and that's my boat, and I'm out there fishing, and one of my girlfriend or my wife or my daughter catches this big fish, you know, because I'm part of the association, then I go and weigh that fish
Right.
under my boat's name and me the captain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it works. And so, you know, some derbies, everybody on board, well, that's a management nightmare. Never gonna happen.
Right.
So this way, but
Right.
get your boat registered, and we had an incident a couple years ago where somebody said, well, me and my buddy are partners in the boat. Well, it was under your partner's name, and you caught it, so we had to follow the rules, and it didn't count.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yep, but you do have to follow the rules.
Yeah, and we do the best we can, and it's been it's one more, it's just a perk. It's a perk of being a
It's
membership.
a great perk.
Yep.
It's a fantastic perk. So if you're fishing Manistee County at all, I mean, just for a weekend, it pays to become a member.
Yeah.
Because if you catch it, and that's happened before.
You never know when that big one's gonna bite.
I've seen weekend guys come up and say, this is my one weekend to fish, and they walked in the door one day with a 19.7 pound steelhead, I think it was.
Wow.
And my jaw about fell off because they weren't even going to weigh it. They were members. They had signed up as members. And they weren't even going to weigh it. We weighed it, 19.7. Then they weren't going to mount it. We had to talk them into that.
Oh, that's
I was going to
about
buy
fish.
it off. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I was going to buy it off of them. It was just so beautiful. But yeah, I mean, if you're just even coming up for a weekend,
Yeah.
it pays to become a member just for that limited amount of time.
Definitely.
Because not only can you win some cash, it's pretty darn cool to see your name up on the whiteboards all throughout the town with some of the best boats around here.
Yeah.
I don't see mine on there very often, but it's pretty darn cool to see your name up there with some of these great fishermen around this area. So,
Another thing to mention there too, Chris, is if you are not from the area and say you do catch a big fish like that, you're not sure who to get a hold of, either right up over to our Facebook page or regular website, there's much contact information there.
Yeah.
Either the email, I think my information's on there as well as Kevin's information.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll give out our information at this
Oh,
point,
absolutely.
at some point too. You can-
like I said, I'm gonna put all the
Wow.
links. Yeah, I'm gonna put all the links down below on this
Perfect.
video. Website, phone numbers, everything. You guys will be probably flooded with calls.
Perfect.
I
Be
hope
happy
so.
to take them.
I hope so. Anyway, all right. So we tickled on that a little bit. Tournaments. You guys have one that you pretty much run every. Well, not pretty much. You do. You run it every year. It's your baby.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about that tournament?
Yeah.
Well, let's start.
Happy
Do
to.
you mind if we start with our first one?
Oh no, please.
Yeah, Michael, why don't you tell them a little bit about our first event is going to be our banquet. So our banquet's May 14th, and that's where we get together and we give out all the prize monies from the year before, and with sort of a social night, and we get together a buffet dinner, and we have all kinds of raffles. We do a 10-gun raffle that culminates that night, and it's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. So that's going to be May 14th. Of course, we had to cancel it because of COVID, but we're back in person this year at the VFW, and it's just a great social night to get to meet some of these other guys
It is a lot of
in
fun.
the organization.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's going to be in the evening now. But this year we're trying to coordinate it because we know some of you guys can't get away. We're 2 weekends in a row, 3 weekends in a row because of whatever. We're trying to do it all in the same weekend, thinking that, hey, let's do fishing and banquet the same day. And so, Michael, why don't you tell them about the small boat tournament?
Yeah, so this year, May 14th, is the second annual small boat tournament right here out of Manistee. Small boat meaning 14 to 22 feet, I think is what we have.
Yeah.
Smaller, so to keep it more on the smaller level, just in general, we're talking. I think it's like a $50 entry fee for that. We meet at Insta Launch just right across the road here, basically. From the bait shop, and we have a little captain's meeting on Friday night to kind of go over the rules, and the rules are pretty cut and dry. We fish from 7 o'clock till noon on that day, and it's a one fish tournament. Weigh your biggest fish.
I do remember hearing that. Yeah.
So you can go out and catch only one fish. You can go out and catch your 3-man limit or whatever you want to catch. Doesn't matter how many you catch. It's just your biggest one.
Big fish tournament.
Big fish tournament. That's kind of the cool thing about
It
that.
is. Anybody can win that.
Anybody can. And
Anybody.
last year was our first year bringing it back after a few years of not doing it, but we moved it from, I think we had it in early August, years before.
Always seem to blow.
Always had it blow.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
logistical nightmare trying to schedule that thing and calling it, and it just never really worked out. And last year we thought, well, there's a pretty decent spring fishery in May.
It's a real good fishery.
Yeah, the kings are showing up. The lake trout are in shallow. There's some brown trout around. There's a couple nice brown trout caught last year, early in the season. So we try to capture that into a little bit of a fun-based tournament. Low stakes, like I say, $50 to get in. But the nice thing is it does pay out a decent little amount for one
Oh,
day of
absolutely.
fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you get a really big fish, you can get it on the board.
You can.
You might even win something. Well,
Well,
May's not
It is a
even
little early.
Yeah, it's, a
It's
little early.
2 weeks early.
Yep.
But the good thing is that it's close to shore fishing. You don't got to go 6-7 miles offshore. You can fish them. You know, usually when the top, you're usually from the shore to 50 feet,
Right.
maybe 80 feet. But the good news, that's why we like to promote it, because the guys in the smaller rigs can use it. And a lot of our guys, let's face it, they got a couple boats.
Yeah.
So they have the big boat in yet, but they got their small river boat or their smaller boat. So we get some of our members that have both sides boats
Sure.
that or fish with different buddies with a smaller boat. I
Right.
know I'm gonna fish with one of my buddies got a smaller boat just because it's fun.
It is fun.
Are you going?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Can I get in your boat?
I would love to have you.
I just
Bring
worked my
your
way
hot
in.
baits from your boat. Lisa.
Of course, you got it. And for those of you who don't know, and this is a secret, there's a really good fishery here in May.
Yeah.
There's a
There
really
is.
good fishery here in May.
Yeah.
King fishery, I tell you what, there's some years I remember May fishing being the best all year. Just fantastic.
Well,
Lights out,
and it
crazy
can
fishing.
be too. I mean, for any species, really. I mean, you can go through first ice if you're that diehard.
Mm-hmm.
As long as ice is out of the channel, you can get through. Have a heck of a brown trout season.
Yep.
Then after following that, the lake trout come in, do
Yep.
their thing, catch some really big lake trout. Last year, we had a 23-pound lake trout take first place for
Oh,
this
yeah,
tournament.
yeah. There's
It
some
was
big ones.
huge. And then
And they're in tight, like you said,
and
they're in tight.
really shallow lines, a couple cores of lead and body baits. I mean, it's really just a fun
It
time
is fun.
of year to go out there and
It
try
is.
to catch them.
Super, super fun. And when the
So-
Kings show up and they're as silver can be, oh my goodness, are they fighting
They're spunky.
machines.
And they're good to eat.
Oh, they are. Fantastic.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
so
fun.
small boat tournament, great thing you guys are doing. What's the next up from there?
Well, small boat tournament in the morning, then that evening, if you're in town, you can come out to the VFW and we'll still probably have tickets available. It's $30 a piece. Bring you and your friends, girlfriend, wife, whatever you got. And it's a social evening. We have a ladies table. You know, we try to get the ladies there. We try to get the, you know, it's not such a kid event, but it can, some people's
Yeah.
kids come,
Kevin
but
tries to get the ladies.
yeah. So we do that, but that's that evening. And then our next big sort of, and we finish that event off. And then, of course, the Derby opens up Memorial Day, and we've already talked about that. That's, if you're entered, you're in it, you know, if you're a member. And that goes from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so nothing special, that's part of your deal, and you just weigh them in our local weigh stations. But then Fun Fish begins, and that starts June 1 through August 24th. And Phil Settlemeyer runs that with Logan, one of our other board members, and they'll have a schedule, what lakes. They just don't go to the same lake every time.
No, they don't.
They go to
Yep.
Bear Lake, and they go to Portage Lake, and they go to Manistee Lake, and they went to Holden Pile Backwater
Well,
last year.
Tippy Dam Backwaters.
Tippy Dam.
Tippy Dam.
And that's actually where we're starting off this year, June 1st, Tippy Dam Backwaters. I believe it's at 6 o'clock. I'll have to double check on the website there, but that's a new one from last year. We did that, I think, once last year and had some really good feedback. And this early season in the backwaters is typically a pretty good time to go out there and catch a couple nice bass and
Yeah, and a few good pike.
walleyes and pike
few
too.
good pike roam out there also.
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
So that's the Fun Fish, and that's on usually Wednesday nights, I think, the night that most people want to go. And we, I went, night I fished last year at Portage Lake, I think they had 38 boats.
Yeah.
And put them in, put them out, it was beautiful to watch those guys launch
It's
and
fluid.
coming out and weighed the fish, and it was just a nice night. And then June 22nd is when we start segueing into our tournament. That's our big tournament.
The big one.
The
Tournament.
big one.
Yep.
And we do a kid fish. And that's one reason why we get a lot of support from our local community. But we do a kid fish. We work with the Wild Turkey Federation, and they are co-sponsor with us with Martin Marietta, I think it is one of our other sponsors.
Yep.
But we get the kids free of charge. They fish around Manistee Lake. We give them a man-made lake, I'm sorry. And then we get them a free shirt, and they get a bunch of prizes. So we give flyers to all the school children in the county, and that's been a really nice way to try to get
That's a really
I think
fun.
Michael did that when he was a little
That's
guy,
how
didn't
I
he?
started fishing.
See,
man.
there you
Just
go.
from doing that, I heard that, and after that I was hooked. Here I am, sitting here.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So that starts us off on a Wednesday, and then on Friday we go right into the Ladies Classic. And this year, because of the fact that we think COVID is done and all the variants and and all what I'm talking about, we're hoping to get back to our roots and have it at the Lions Den at the pavilion at the end of the channel.
Good.
That's where our meetings are going to be, our weigh-ins are going to be, our all the different social things are going to be. Because remember, we did drive-through virtual weigh-ins last year.
captains meetings online.
Hey, we were just
Yeah.
following
We
the
did everything.
guidelines.
You gotta do what you gotta
No,
do.
that was
for
great.
that.
I commend you.
Yeah.
I definitely commend you guys for the way you guys did it. Very professional and very efficient. So
Thank you.
very nicely done.
Well, we were the first tournament to run during the hotbed of the COVID time. We were the first tournament that went online in June. So we've never missed a tournament. We
I
fished
know.
through COVID because our guys, you know what? and we had some of the highest participation rate we ever had.
I know.
Because fishermen are tough, man. And
Well, I think everybody was going crazy sitting at home too.
Stir crazy,
Right,
yeah.
They had to get out.
But we complied. We
did.
we did it. So, but hoping now get back to the camaraderie. You know, have a few sodas down there, watch the fish being weighed in. You know, it's going to be a little more like the way we like
The
it.
old way.
Yeah,
Which is so much fun.
exactly.
It'll be nice, because it's the camaraderie, well, meeting everybody on here, meeting
It
everybody
is.
again, that from out of town that you don't see that much, you just
No,
talk
it
to
is
on the
so
phone.
much fun sitting down there talking to everybody.
So that's the ladies classic, and that's the ladies tournament on June 24th. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we have the Triport, and we rebranded a little bit this year. And one reason we rebranded it is because, you know what, there was such great participation in the last couple of years, is that, you know, we were getting a tough time accommodating the boats in Manistee Harbor because of slippage and because of the municipal marina had some problems and so on and so forth. So we want to really emphasize this is a tri-port tournament.
So what is a triport?
Tri-port means 3 ports go simultaneously at the same time.
Which 3 ports?
It's Onekama, Arcadia, and Manistee.
Beautiful.
Because we are the Manistee County Sport
Right.
Fishing Association.
Right.
All 3 of those ports reside within our county.
And that's been that way for a while though, if I remember right, because I've launched out of Untitled a few times in your tournament.
Yeah, and that is the fact. But we just want to try to promote that a little bit.
No, that's great.
Because
That's
as
great.
people were saying, hey, I didn't come last year because I couldn't get a slip at Manistee or whatever, we're like, well, did you try it on Nekoma? Well, no. Or what about Arcadia?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, if you're in a smaller boat strategically, you might be better off launching out of one of those ports because if you're running north 15 miles from Manistee, then, you know, it's easier. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there could be some strategy involved too. You know, it's just like when you lift out of Nekoma, it's tough to fish Point Saba.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's easier to fish, you know, up by Arcadia or someplace like that. So a lot of it's strategy, depending on where you launch, but we want to, and availability. So I'm saying if you're going to fish our tournament, don't be hesitant once things get moving here a little bit. Get some reservations.
Yeah.
If you don't have a slip, make sure you do because
Start calling around.
it's tough, man. Most of the marinas in Manistee County this past year were 100% full
Yeah.
because it was just the boating thing was off the chart.
Yeah. Yep.
And so
A lot of people wanted to get back out on the water.
not a lot of transient slips and you know, but there is some, but you got to get on it.
Yep. Sure do.
And so that's our weekend. But our big news, Mike's our finance guy for our association. We have, and I don't know, it's just COVID or people are getting back into it or what. We have been just absolutely blessed by having the biggest amount of sponsorships that come in and say, hey, listen, we want to be part of this. And so we are so excited because, you know, we had a first major sponsor in the last couple of years come in, and it was 910 News, and they must be doing a lot of ads or something, and we've had some connections there. But they said, we'll give you $10,000
Great.
to run this tournament. We're like,
Great.
holy moly.
Yeah.
And so, but their commitment was, we need to get you able to get $10,000 in local match.
Okay.
So we went to our small businesses in town and says, hey, listen, we got a major sponsor. Could you give us $250? Could you give us $500? Could you give us $1,000? Oh my gosh, these local sponsors stepped up.
They stepped up.
And within a couple weeks, we had that 10,000 match met. And you know what? We're still taking money. So what we need to do now, and maybe you guys could email us, let us know. We're just working through the payouts, how we're going to do it, how much in each division, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, as long as we have the participation level similar to what we had in the past, this is going to be by far our biggest payout weekend of the history of the tournament.
Great. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'll be there. I'll be there. Hoping taking a couple of those checks home. We've done it before. I love it there. That's one of my favorite tournaments, just being a home tournament, knowing the waters and whatnot. But the people that come down there, everybody that comes in, and you get to meet all the guys that you've heard about in some of the boats around here,
Yeah.
or just see old friends. You know, people you haven't seen in a few years. But one thing I'm gonna just say on that is, Doug Strazinski was an integral part on this
yeah.
tournament, and I just want to, say how much he will be missed. I know how much he helped you guys.
Well,
He
let me
was
tell you.
huge with our tournament, helping
Yeah.
us out with the weigh-ins, a staple in our tournament.
Yeah.
People came for Doug, they watched the live feed for and because of Doug.
I know he did such a good job.
Yeah, working side by side with him for a couple of years I've been a part of it. He was a character, man. He's
Was a character.
definitely going to be missed.
We went down to his wake, 2 weeks ago. It was tough. And, but I tell you, when he had all his different things of his life, his milestone, his trophies, is this. You know, one of the things I was so proud to see on his table of memorabilia at his funeral was we gave him a plaque for significance, a recognition a few years ago because of his great job at the weigh station. And there it was, front and center, and pictures of him. And his wife told me when I was talking to her, she said, you know, he just loved coming to that tournament and weighing those fish.
You could tell too
Yeah.
how much he enjoyed being at that tournament, being the weighmaster. He really was a character, like you said, Mike.
Well, I'm happy to say that we're hoping George, his sidekick from crime with a big beard, he's still planning on coming back. And then Terry Teal, who's Doug's right-hand man always fish with him. He said, he called us up, he said, listen, I want to do Doug's part next year. I want to keep the tradition going. And he said, I just want to do it for Doug. So I said, Terry, great, would love to have you. So we're, you know, he'll never be replaced, but he's got his good buddy stepping in for him. And I think he'd be looking down on us pretty proud. You know?
I think so too. Yeah, he'll be chuckling at a few things, I have no doubt. Anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a sidetrack there, but I thought that was something that should have been mentioned.
Absolutely.
So what do we got going? So that's the big tournament, that 2-day tournament. That's part of the tournament trail also.
Yep.
So if you get into that Founders Cup on the tournament trail, this is one of the tournaments that does coincide with that you can post scores on. So not only can you win through the 3-3-3, the Founders Cup, you can also win through the Sport Fishing Association. You can go home with a lot of extra pocket money and some really, really nice prizes.
The cool thing with this tournament too, we were doing some calculations of how it went over the past couple of years, and there was a lot of ways to win some money, it seemed like. I think, what do we calculate, Kevin, like 38, 40 ways to win, different ways to win?
Yep. And
something? I mean,
it's always been our philosophy. You know what, some of these people have these big, you know, $20,000 first place, and then, you know, second place gets a nickel. You know, and so our goal is, because of the association tournament, we try to give big fish divisions, pay out 2 or 3 places. We try to do different things, pay down, you know, quite a way. So we want to try to get, because you know what, there's only going to be 2 people that win first place, you know, in the pro and the AM division. Right. And so the bottom line is, the more we can spread it down, and remember, everybody in our tournament has to be a member. So it's a forced membership. Right. So you can't say, well, I don't want to be a member. No, you're going to be a member to fish.
Well, let me back up on that. If you're fishing a boat, only the captain has to be a member.
Yes.
The crew members don't have to be members.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that if you got 5 people on the boat, all 5 don't have to go get members.
Correct.
Just the
we're
captain.
more than happy to have all 5.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Sure, but not necessary.
Right.
You're
But what happens, like you said, Chris, is that they catch a big lake trout in that June tournament, and by golly, that lake trout may win the whole month of June.
Sure.
And they caught it the weekend of the bud, and then, you know, maybe they come up 1 or 2 times later to fish in August with the steelheaders tournament or something like that. So the bottom line is, a lot of times those people, their fish they catch during that weekend, sometimes will hold out for the month of June.
Absolutely. Now, do you still have the overall weekend big fish winner? Because I remember
We
in
do.
the past,
Yes, we do.
That's a great prize, because the one year that we did really well, we won overall big fish, we won the 3-3-3, took 4th in the pro, and won something else also. And we walked out of there. I mean, like you were saying, I'm not trying to sound like a bragging board in any way, but there's so many ways that you can go around corners and win so many different things.
you don't have to win first place. I mean,
No.
you can go out there and have a decent catch for the day and still come back smelling like a rose at the end of the weekend.
absolutely.
Yeah, our price structure, again this year, Chris, Mike's working on it, but we pretty much agreed to some of it at the board, but for sure, there's gonna be a big fish component for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the number we're talking is $1,000.
Yep.
So that's on top of whatever we're winning. So the big fish that carries throughout the weekend is going to be an extra $1,000.
That's great. That's really great. Guys, gals, come on. I mean, seriously, if you're going to fish one tournament this year, I can't plug this one enough. This one is fun. Lots of good people. Early in the year too. So, it's not
still early.
boiling hot out there. You're not dying on the water. The fishing is normally decent. I'm not going to say it's gangbusters, because there's years it has been slow. It's June. We understand that. But typically, lake trout are available. Early kings are still available. You might even pick up a bonus brown around the piers, depending on the water conditions. But what I'm trying to say is, this is a good one to do, everybody. If you're thinking of doing one tournament, I really can't plug this one enough.
Well, thanks, Chris.
Oh, you're
this year is going to be exciting too, because we get to go back to kind of like normal. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
That's so much fun, just going back down there. Like I said, seeing guys I hadn't seen in a couple of years, and, you know, avoiding Kevin.
Well, the Lions are going to be back. They're going to be doing the brats, and then what we do is the Lions are one of our sponsors. They pay us $500 to be down there, and then what they do is they ask the people who have extra fish, you know, and they take that extra fish that is donated by our participation of our members in the tournament that weekend, and then they take those fish and they do their fish boil during the Forest Festival.
That's a lot of fun.
And that is their biggest fundraiser of
Right.
the year. So it's an example of us working with one of our other civic groups to help them. You know, they support us by giving us some money to be down there, and then we help them by having our membership give them fish, and so that they can have their biggest fundraiser of the year.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
One way one person helps another person.
Yep.
Great thing. So what else we got going on after that tournament? What else we got there, Captain Kevin?
Well, pretty much, once we get done with the tournament, then basically our big thing is just going fishing the rest of the summer.
Right.
And then, you know, fishing in the Derby.
right.
But I thought you were gonna ask me about some tournament tips.
We're going to.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, you guys aren't
Okay.
getting out that easy.
Oh, okay.
But I did want to ask this. So the money that comes in, obviously, it's going into some kind of funding.
Yes.
You guys are doing something with this money to help the fishery.
Yep.
What are you guys doing with it? What's your thing that, how are you doing? My mouth just froze up. What are you doing to help the fishery?
Well, let me just tell you a little bit, because Mike's the finance guy, but let me give you an example. Kidfish
Yeah.
is something, we try to get kids involved. You know, like all groups, you know, we're declining the amount of kids fish and hunt. We need to get them fish and hunt. So that's kidfish. Second thing we do is we try at the end of the year, because we're nonprofit, we're not, our goal is not to build a big war chest. And we gotta have some money to keep in there so we can keep sustainability.
Right.
But we try to basically, what we take in, we give out. And the other, we have an executive assistant that is paid, because, you know, newsletters, databases, website updates.
Yeah, a lot behind the scenes
You gotta have
to
someone
go on.
that knows how to do that stuff.
Absolutely.
And so we have one person that basically we pay, you know, minimal salary. They're very good at it, but that keeps us organized. The rest of us are all volunteers. And so the other money we use is you know, sometimes we help out, for instance, I sit on the board of the Chamber of Commerce. And I'll do it as my sport fishing business, plus also I represent the Sport Fishing Association. So we're on the Chamber of Commerce. We're at those meetings, we're talking about the fishery, we're talking about boat ramps, we're talking about the local, how the fishery impacts our local economy.
Right.
We use that for memberships. We're also part of the, I sit on the board for the Citizens Advisory Board. So we get to go down to Lansing or Clare or whatever, and we give input about, hey, what do we want to happen with the fishery?
Yeah.
So we get to be on that advisory board. So that's another function that we do that costs, you know, some money to time to do. We also are a member of, I don't know if you know, and you know, it can be controversial, can be not, but you know, we're in the treaty waters right now. And there's a big, the tribal
Consent decree.
consent decree has come up.
The litigation.
The litigation, it's in litigation right now, so we're not a MECI, we're a main member, but we're an associate member, and our association has had to help pay some legal fees, so that we're represented, and we make sure, you know, we've had 20 years of fairly decent coexistence out there,
I
we
hope
want
it
20
continues.
more years.
Yeah, I hope it continues for 120 more years.
Exactly, so that's what those are the kind of things that we spend our money on, but it's basically, a lot of our organizations, what do you say, Mike, cash in, cash out?
Pretty much cash in, cash out. Like we said, Kevin said here, the association is to help promote the fishery and preserve the fishery.
Yeah.
I'm pretty young in the sport. I'd like my children to come here and see what I see, and hopefully see what you guys have seen back in.
Well, the bottom
Your
line,
younger day,
the
too.
bottom line I was trying to get there is nobody's taking a cut on this.
No.
Whatever comes into this association through these guys goes back into this community and this fishery.
Yeah, I'm only here because I absolutely love fishing.
Yeah.
These two guys here, this is why we're both here. All the board members, same reason.
That's what I was just trying to emphasize. Nobody's
Yeah.
taking a cut on this thing.
No.
This is your guys' volunteer time every year, year in, year out, throughout your entire board, throughout your entire community. You guys are doing this really persona non grata. I mean, you're just giving back out of your own free time.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing, guys.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Glad to be a part of it, really. Another thing I wanted to mention too is not just big lake we're talking about too, but like inland lakes we're trying to promote and keep those sustained as well.
Right.
So we're talking to different members of the DNR, different almost biologists and people, just people, average Joes who fish the dang lakes that want to give feedback to, oh, the fishing kind of isn't really good right now.
Right.
Well, what's up? You know, why,
Right.
what are the plant levels? How can we help that?
Do you guys work with the DNR at all?
We do. We met with them this spring. We had Scott Heinzelman, who's a member of our association, and also Mark Tonello, and they're out of the Cadillac office. And we talked about what's going on in Manistee County. He had a few areas of concern on the Big River and Little River and on a couple of lakes around here. And we were able to sit down with him and voice it to him.
That's a great thing.
And good dialogue.
Good. That's a great thing. All right. Guys, gals, let's get into some little tips and tricks here. I warned these two guys that I'm not going to let them out of here. Both these guys are excellent fishermen. Like I said, Mike mates on my boat from time to time. He also runs his own smaller boat.
Yep.
But you're getting your captain's license right now. You're in the process.
I am. I'm just about ready to take the test, I think.
And I know you're going to do fine. But you fish all the time. Kevin, of course, you're on the water all the time. Both of you guys have had tremendous tournament success, not only on your boats, but other boats. I gotta take this opportunity to pick their brains a little. So, if you have questions for these two guys, anything as far as fishing goes or the association, let us know right now down in the comments. But here we go. The number one thing, if you could tell anybody in a tournament, number one tip, what would it be, Kevin?
Catch your 10 fish both days. I don't care how big they are or how small they are.
That's like saying fill the boat with gas.
Catch your 10 fish both days. And in our tournament, it's not like some of these other tournaments. You have to catch 2 legal limits.
Well, that's pro division.
Pro, but the AM, and Mike can tell you, which is 1 legal limit. But there is a lot of strategy that goes on in our tournament because you could catch, because the way the fishing is, as Chris alluded to, it's not like going out whacking 15 kings and sort your best 10.
Right.
It's not August.
No.
So you gotta, where are the lake trout? Where am I gonna get a steelhead? Where can I get a brown? Oh boy, I'm short this. I gotta get a silverfish. And you know what? My experience for the last 30 years out of our tournament is that the guy who gets his 10 legal fish each day, 2 legal limits, is in the hunt. I'm not saying you're going to win,
Nope, but
but
you're
you
in
got
the
a
hunt.
chance to win.
Well, the reason for that too, because each fish is 10 points.
Yeah.
So per pound is a point, and then per fish is 10 points. So
Well,
you're adding up quick. for
One of the
fish.
best pieces of advice I ever got tournament fishing was take what the lake gives you. If you go out there thinking, I gotta catch 10, 25-pound plus kings, you're gonna give up so much other options. You're gonna give up so many other opportunities that you're gonna have. Go out there and take what the lake gives you. If it gives you 6 nice kings and 4 lake trout, be happy. And then change your strategy after that. Maybe I can go out deep and go after steelhead, or maybe I can go back by the pier pick up a brown. Take what the lake gives you and then change your strategy after that. And that falls right hand in hand what you just said.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Great tip. I didn't mean to hack on you.
No.
up there, but
That's right.
I mean, when you say like 10, catch your 10 fish, that's not always as easy as it sounds. That's like saying,
can be
how do
tough
we win this? How do we
sometimes.
win this game? Score more points than the other team. That doesn't always work. But Mike, what is if you give one tip as far as tournament fishing, what would it be?
I would probably say fish your own program.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because you talk to a lot of guys, there's a community here that are, we've been biting on XYZ bait, or this flash with this fly combo, or whatever spoon's been hot on a 10 color
Right.
that week.
Right?
Whatever's been best, what I've seen on your own boat fishing, your own program, is the way to do it.
That's so true.
Because we've gotten burned, man, a couple of times. That
Me too. I was holding my hand up to say me too, but
Because
yeah.
I've been there too multiple
Right,
times. That's
right.
why I've learned
We
just
all
to
have, I'm sure.
not do that.
Yep.
But on the other foot, I've got a phone call that says, "Hey man, we're catching them in the pier heads, and I'm not that far away from the pier heads. 2 hour and a half left in the tournament.
Done
1 hour
that.
left in the tournament. Then you go catch your last couple of fish, 3
Done that.
fish, and
Yep.
we've actually almost won a tournament because of that a couple
Sure.
of years ago.
Yeah, but I would say more often than not, you're gambling way too much by running on somebody's phone call.
Yeah, it's like we've gotten burned more times than not doing that, and a lot of guys that I've talked to say the same. It's almost like walk around with your ears plugged.
Right,
You know,
right.
at-
Turn the
at the
phone
weigh-ins.
off. Yep.
Don't,
Do your own thing.
But strategy-wise, that Pierhead's not a bad call because you're going there anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's on your way home and you got to go through it, that's not like because I agree. Every time you move, it's an hour of bait time you lose. I don't
Yeah.
care if it's just a quarter mile up the shore.
Oh, absolutely.
Pulling everything,
Yep.
moving, resetting.
Resetting.
You know, it's
Get your trolls figured out again.
and we
Yep.
get a strike on my boat on a good season about every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you know what? If all of a sudden you're spending an hour running, you know what? There's possible 3 fish.
I'll even tell a story on that, what you just said, Mike. The year that we took fourth in your tournament, we should have taken first. And the reason we had 3 more fish to catch, and we were catching lake trout. And in our minds, we thought we still need big fish to beat the other boats, because there were some good boats that we were in contention with. We got to get bigger fish. We get a phone call from somebody at the pier head, say, hey, we're hitting kings right now. We picked up, we took off down there, we never caught a fish. If we'd stayed right there and caught 3 more lake trout with a 6-pound average, we would have won the pro.
And that kind of brings us to another point. Don't leave fish to find the fish.
Don't leave fish.
I've heard you say
fish.
that when I've been waiting for you
Yes,
before.
you don't. That is a great, great tip. Yep. So here's my tip for tournaments for tonight. Pre-fish. You gotta pre-fish. If you go out there on a Friday and you get your boat in the water on that Friday, you get your rods and reels all set up, and you don't touch anything until Saturday morning, you're really not doing your due diligence to get out there and look for the fish. If you can, get into the port, get into the harbor, whatever, get in that fishery on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and pre-fish as much as you can. That's my easiest tip that I can give on tournament fishing.
Yeah, I
that
agree.
that pays off in huge dividends.
Yep.
You can't just expect to run out on a Saturday morning. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah,
And
sit down on a pot of fish.
You
it
sit
can
down on a
happen.
pot of fish. It doesn't happen often though. And you're lucky enough to bring your fishing. But if you don't know where you're going, if you're running off just phone intel or fishing report intel, you're really going to cut yourself short. So anyway.
And that goes to a confidence thing too. I mean, if you're going off your own program, we did this yesterday. We can go
Yep.
do this again today.
Yep.
And that's huge. Confidence in this kind of fishing is huge. You
Yep.
know, knowing what your program is, and building a program with the crew also helps a lot.
That's one thing I talk about all the time is confidence fishing. Have confidence in the bait you're running. Have confidence in your crew and your boat. And even if you're not catching fish, you don't start getting that sinking gut feeling like, oh, we're in trouble here.
Right.
Because you've been there before and you know what you got out there is going to work. All right, let's see what we got here for comments. Oh, from TD Schloud. Is there a website for the association? How do we get signed up? Sorry if this was mentioned earlier. Yes. I will post that website down below in the comment section or in the description section when this is done. But Kevin, if you still got that,
It's www.mcsfa.org.
mcsfa.org. Good question though. What else we got? It's nice to see a multi-species bag do well from Greg Moose. Yeah, absolutely. It is. Yep. A couple steelhead, a couple trout, a couple kings. Absolutely.
Yep.
From Kevin Petrosic. Michael, if I'm early spring fishing, small boat trolling along the shore, what kind of stick baits would you use and rod setup? That's a good question.
That's a really particular question.
I got some ideas on that. But
Yeah, I
go
do
ahead.
too, and I've got my favorites, and it's like honestly the basic of the basic, the original floating Rapala.
Yes.
I mean the perch color, your clown color, your I forget the name of it now, but your
Gold and silver.
Golden,
have
yeah.
always done good for me.
gold and silver, black and silver. I mean, typically when I'm going early season, ice out, I'm running 3 inline boards with my buddy, or 3 just when I'm by myself. Per side with a buddy, we're running his side and my side. Maybe we'll run the 3 Rapalas on the one side, and I just stick to those because the browns. I mean, I've caught way too many browns with those to not want to use those.
Absolutely.
But you can catch them equally using lead core, 1, 2, and 3 colors.
Yep.
Using smaller spoons.
Absolutely.
Whatever brand you like the best, really. But
Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill is an absolute lake trout destroyer in the spring.
Yep.
That's a really good one. The blue dolphins are really good on. The green dolphins are really good ones also in the spring. The Magic Man can be really good in the spring. But yeah, 1, 2, and 3 colors just on boards, stick baits. One thing I'll say that I found is I stay away from anything that has a rattle in it in the springtime. Because
Yeah.
browns I found to be spooky fish. I've had much better luck on floating baits, regular Rapalas,
Yep.
or Rapalas, as I'm supposed to say.
It is
that.
Rapala.
It is Rapala. I've always said Rapala. I've always had better luck on on something that doesn't make noise over something that does have a rattle like a husky jerk.
right.
I
Yeah,
don't know about you guys. That's just something I found.
that's about the same. And with you're talking water clarity early season. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, typically the colder the water, the denser the water, less turbulence from the winds. It's not kicking up as much sand and silt.
What do you think, Mike, the last few years, at least I've noticed, but since, because I'm a little older than you are, but the water clarity has gotten so clear along our
It
coastline,
has,
particularly
yeah.
from
Crystal clear.
Manistee North. I think I've always seemed to, we do a little better in the dirty water. If you can, if you got a
Yep.
Manistee Rivers, north wind and the Manistee plume is going south, not a bad bet to get in that plumy water.
Yes.
We used to have the PCA discharge, which they got away with,
Right.
it went offshore. But, a lot of times, it's really hard to get those fish in that gin clear water.
It
And
is.
we've had a lot of that the last couple of years, 25, 30 feet down, you can see a nickel on the bottom.
Yep.
So, but sometimes, like you say, along those clay banks, along those discharge, Bar Lake, or down Manistee, or Onekama, or Frankfurt, or Ludington, those different discharges, the Sable, wherever you got a plume coming out, a lot of times that's not a bad spot to sort of zoom on.
Exactly.
One thing I'll do is if I find a spot that has just a couple degrees of warmer water, I'll circle that many times, because typically I'm gonna find active fish in that warmer water that time of the year. Good answers, guys.
Great question too.
Yeah, really good question. Thanks, Kevin. From Patrick Forster, what's your setup when fishing the top 40 feet in May, water still cold? I think we just covered that, really, but I'm still gonna run a couple divers on the side. I'm still gonna run short cores, 1, 2, 3s, probably a 5 if I'm out in 40 foot of water, something a little bit deeper.
Yep.
My riggers are still I'm gonna have one down by the bottom. I'm gonna have one probably mid-range and one probably in between those two. But
Yep.
that's gonna be my tip, maybe a 150 copper or 125 copper. But spoons are gonna, when I
Spoons
start
are really
moving out a
good.
little bit deeper, spoons are gonna take over my program. Super Slims especially.
Yep.
Yeah, Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
Super
them
Slims.
Dreamweaver Super Slims are killers for.
They really are.
Even any browns, lake trout, any kings, I've gotten all of them on that
Yeah.
before, and it kind of seems the trend of it seems to what I've noticed in my time is the earlier in the season, the closer to the shore you're going to find the fish.
Mhm.
Then as things kind of work out through the middle of May,
Right.
the end of May,
Right.
out goes the fish.
Yeah,
So
as the
you-
water warms, the fish go deep.
So your tactics can kind of vary a little bit there too, which is nice for me having a smaller boat. I can do anything. If I wanted to, I can take my downriggers right off my boat.
Sure.
And just run my trees or my rod holders and just run straight boards with lead core or straight lines.
Yep.
Or if you want to move out a little deeper, let's say that 20, 25, 30 foot of water, maybe I'll throw a couple slide divers down.
Yeah.
Get them away from the boat a little bit, and maybe when I start middle of May, I'll put my downriggers on finally and just target that little deeper water.
I'll even tap a diver on the bottom that time of the year, because there's still gonna be lake trout down there. And if that thing really gets hot, I'll start running 2 of them down on the bottom.
Or we use the mini divers. I picked that up from Paul Shafley.
The Big John minis?
Little Big John minis, and run those out there. And those browns are not as boat shy as you think sometimes. We run those with a stinger or a super slim or some orange and some orange on it. Let me tell you what, they come right in there and right off the side of the boat. But you can run those things, those mini divers, so
Yeah.
15, 20 feet of water and not be dragging the bottom.
I can honestly say that's something I've never done, so I'll gladly borrow that tip.
Uh-oh.
But you gotta cover up that patch on your left sleeve, okay?
Oh, yeah.
If you guys didn't know, this live show is sponsored by Dreamweaver every Sunday, so I should mention that right now. Put that away. Put that away. This is sponsored by Dreamweaver Lures. Check them out at dreamweaverlures.com. Thank you so much, Dreamweaver, for making this show happen every Sunday
Great
night.
company.
Oh, they are great. Slide divers. D-Herb wants to know about slide slide divers, I believe, as a great tool in the springtime. Yeah, stealthy presentation.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Get some down deeper too. If you don't have downriggers on your boat, which a lot of these smaller boats I have found don't. When I grew up fishing with my dad and my grandpa, I would just go out with 2 lines with long lines. I mean, if you put another rod holder on your boat, get a pair of slide divers, and now you're targeting in the bottom. I mean, it's that simple.
You don't have to have $10 million in equipment to go catch fish.
No.
But most of us do anyway. We have boxes of things we'll probably never ever use, because that's just the way we are. All right. Comments are slowing down. Everybody, thank you so much. Take a moment to thank Kevin and Mike Link. Kevin Hughes and Mike Link with the Manistee County Sport Fishing Association. Again, www.mcsfa.org. I'll put that link down below. If you're thinking about getting into a tournament, like I said earlier, I cannot say enough good things about the way they do things here. with the association and with the Triport. It used to be called the Budweiser, now it's called the Triport.
Triport, yeah. Bud's
Okay.
gonna still be a sponsor, but we went to more of a generic name.
Okay, the Triport Challenge, I believe it's called.
Correct.
Yeah, the Triport Challenge, right on their website. If you're thinking about doing a tournament, come on out, try this one out. Many, many ways to take home a nice little bankroll, and guaranteed you're gonna have fun anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed you're gonna have fun. I know we'll be there, we'll be having a blast. So, guys, thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. We'll get this thing turned off. Everybody have a great week. We will see. Oh, let me say this real quick.
I got one more thing too after you.
Oh yeah, I will not have a live show next Sunday. I will be in Wisconsin doing a seminar at the Wisconsin Fishing Expo in Madison, Wisconsin. I'll be there all weekend.
Nice.
Tangle Tackle will be there all weekend. Come on out and see us. I'd love to meet some people. But I will be doing a seminar that Sunday, I believe at 10:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. It's on their schedule. If you want to come out and you want to throw things at me, feel free. Come on out. Look forward to seeing everybody. But Mike, what did you have to say?
One more thing we forgot to mention. First thing up on the menu for our season is the ice fish this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. That's this
February
weekend.
26th at Portage Lake. It's another style of fun fish, ice fish tournament, hosted by us, the Mcsfa, at essentially a city launch at Portage Lake.
It's a good time
So
too.
great time, pretty good turnout the last couple of years. I think this is the 4th year we've done it. And different categories break down just essentially like our summertime fun fish, but on the hard water.
That's a good time.
So yeah,
Glad you-
February
glad you-
26th in the morning.
How will they?
Stop by.
Where do they register? Online?
That one you need to just show up.
Just show up?
Show up at, I think it's Papa J's is where we're going to be stationed.
Papa J's and the technical store in town, you can do, register late the day before.
Okay.
Can ya? Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Gotcha.
I just read stuff on it. But yeah, it's this coming Saturday, and matter of fact, I might even have the stuff on it right here.
Papa J's and Brethren.
No, Necma.
Oh, I'm sorry. Necma. That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah, right downtown.
Yeah, the ice cream place. I
Yeah,
was thinking Andy's and Brethren. I don't know why.
yeah. You know what? I guess I don't have it, but he's.
There
Oh,
it
here it
is.
is. Fun ice fishing contest. The category is going to be northern pike, panfish, perch, bluegill or crappie, walleye, and whitefish or cisco. You may pre-register at Lakeside Treats and Bait in town across from the park starting February 18th. You may also register the day of the event at the boat launch in town from 7 to 8 a.m. If you pre-register, you must check in at registration the morning of between 7 and 8. If not, your fish will not be allowed. And so you start at 7. Once again, register me, head out, drill holes, set up chanting, etc. You may not begin fishing until 7:30 and must have all lines out by 2 p.m. Weigh-in to take place at Papa J's in town. That's the Dairy Queen. Must be in line to weigh in by 2:30 or they will not be allowed. So you get to, it says do not bring all your fish, just your biggest fish for each category. And I think you're gonna have some hot dogs and some there, like last
Yeah,
year. They do
yep.
hot dogs
Yeah,
and
we'll do a fire
chips
and-
and fire, and it's fun.
It is nice. Yeah,
I'm planning on fishing it. You might?
yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there too.
I will not be there, but I will be
You're
there.
gonna be in Wisconsin.
I'll be there in spirit. I'll be over in Wisconsin. All right, let's get out of here now. Again, thanks to these guys. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks back on the channel.